Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and it is 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to a therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time, night or day, and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you can get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off with your first month at betterhelp.com/XOOF That's betterhelp.com/XOOF life.
Someone get that fucking bird. Oh, okay. All right. It's. Hold on. There you go. Bird's done.
He said, "Bird's done."
Bird's done. It's like Thanksgiving. Bird's done.
You pretty much you handled it, everything all within the soundboard.
I surely did.
Bird appeared. Bird disappeared. All with the same day.
When you're a professional like me, you learn how to be an avid storyteller, right? I painted a picture kind of like I'm Bob Ross a little bit, right? And that was. I don't know. Like, do you get a bunch of bird poops on your car? Because I feel like I feel like they really like the handle that you have to grab. They're really into it. So
handle.
Yeah, you gotta start wearing gloves in the summers to open up the door.
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, just your area. I ain't gonna say just your area, your street, but I know when my car was parked there, they tagged that shit up. It was everywhere. I'm like, damn.
Was it similar to like a out of the birdie bubble?
The helicopter.
Yeah.
The helicopter poop.
Yes. Well, that's a good way to start the program. We didn't even introduce ourselves, but at this point, if you don't know who we are, then you should have been listening a while back. But my name is Rich.
This is Jermaine.
And he's playing in his kitchen, I think. I don't know. Maybe he's like he may be unpacking his Easy Bake Oven. I don't know.
He said Easy Bake.
Yeah, Easy Bake Oven. And this is BDE Street. And. So, little fun news. So I've kind of just put this all together, right? We have the X's and O's of life. We got BDE Street, and then we're going to be doing Me and the Wife. That sounded like it was a gangbang. We're going to be doing I had to walk that back a little bit, but I already committed to the sentence. I was like, well,
let it roll.
Get a giggle. But me and the wife are going to be doing a podcast too. And, from what we've kind of put out into the ether a little bit, it's going to be kind of like a weekly wrap up of just the silly things we've kind of come across, in our, personal lives or collective lives, and just kind of talk about it. Like it doesn't have a huge direction yet. I think that's going to be kind of what we did with our podcast here, where we kind of rolled with the punches till we figured it out. And I know that's probably not the best way to go about doing business, but I don't know. I mean, we're not like crazy successful yet, but I feel like we definitely got a good handle on what our shows are. And
that whole fake it till you make it. I mean,
right.
Well, not fake it, but just play around, and then eventually, it's I don't know, like a kid trying to fit a square into a circle peg, or you mess around until it fits into place, and you go with it at that point. Shit.
Were you the dumb kid that tried to put the square peg in the round hole? Because you just kind of basically said that's going to happen eventually, and that's not actually going to happen. But I get it.
I mean, hey, I did come out like, man, I did that plenty of times.
I mean, that explains a lot. So, no, but I kind of feel like the recipe worked for us. I obviously like my wife a whole bunch more than I like you. And
rightfully so.
yeah. I mean, and that's about 80% true. No, I mean, you can definitely vouch for it, and we already mentioned this before. I may even plug this on Saturday. I don't even remember. But you know how me and the wife kind of operate, how what our kind of back and forth is, and we just have an interesting, fun relationship. It's definitely different than I think anybody really has kind of come across from a married couple.
Yeah, and, we mentioned, it's a very unique, style and relationship, and it works. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, and just our kind of takes, and she was all worried because she has a big person job. She's like, well, I got to be careful because I'm like, girl, listen, I appreciate the fact that you think this is going to blow up as much as you think it is, but I don't think any of your folks at work, maybe, who knows? But she was just real worried. She's like, well, I
understand, I understand where she's coming from, because I mean, when we first started doing this, I was a little apprehensive myself. I was just thinking like, man, what if this get in the wrong ears or the wrong hands, right? And who listens to it? Baby. Yeah. So it's like, not really. Like, I mean, by the time, if it does get to a point where it becomes famous, by the time we get there, I don't think we're going to care about where we was at.
Here's the thing, right? Like, if it gets famous, bitch, you don't got to work no more. So fuck up. Like, who cares?
You'll look at your employer. They'll be like, "Oh, did you know you was violating our social media or our whatever conflict of interest policy?" And it's like, I don't give a fuck.
And she's like, hold my beer. I'm gonna pull up. Pit, left or right? Left or right? What? Left or right? What? Which ball do you want to suck? Let me go find something to do. But no, I mean, look, our relationship is definitely fun. I dig it. I can't imagine. I don't know. I mean, not to get all sentimental, but I couldn't imagine being married to a better person. So, just our kind of, I don't know, just how we conversate is interesting, and our takes on things, and I think it's gonna be a fun kind of pod. And the whole point of what I'm saying is I'm kind of putting it all under the same veil. So all the socials are still gonna be the same for it. It's still gonna go out. The boys are still gonna get it. The folks on my end are still gonna get it. It's just gonna be a different upload. It's gonna be under like the same kind of podcast network, I guess, for lack of a better term. So I'm just kind of building a brand, and then.
Do y'all know what it's called? Like, is it called a certain thing, or?
Yeah, so she kind of, I don't know. I'm not entirely sold on the name yet, but she has this thought bubbles. I'm like, okay,
like a comic, like you looking at a comic, or you looking at a funny paper and the thought bubbles and.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I don't like it. Because here's why, right? So we got the X's and O's of life. That's a play on kind of our football kind of sport kind of thing, and then we're just covering life stuff. And then BDE Street, it's because I have a 14-foot penis, and and Jermaine's nickname is Street. So there you go. That just fucking works. And then in about a month, we're gonna be dropping, maybe a month. I don't know. I got such a hard on for the football podcast. I can't wait. But we got Footballed, which once again, play on words.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Thought Bubbles. The fuck? Which one of these things are not like the other? So I kind of feel like we got to work on the naming a little bit. So that's gonna be a bit of a work in progress. But anyway, the long story short is all 4 of those podcasts are gonna be under this network. And me and Jermaine were talking off air here. because I was linking up with the system I use to do interviews with, and this guy hit me up and asked me if I have a website. And I was like, no, I don't. I probably should. And so I talked to the wife, and I was like, hey, sister-in-law, Angelica, how much of a nerd is she? Is she like a tech nerd? Like, can she build this for me, or do I have to do this my own? She's like, I don't know if she can do it or not. But she said, generally speaking, it's pretty simple. And I'm like, you say that. And, literally an hour into it, there's a hole through some shit, and there's about 4 more holes in the wall. And, but no, I'm going to go ahead and try to build that tomorrow to kind of see how that looks, because, we want to have a more, I guess a hub, for lack of a better term. And where we have all the uploads, we have all of our social links.
Just more accessibility, to
right.
instead of having to pull out your text message or pull out a certain link that only links you to one episode. You could just boom. Everybody has the mom and pop little dentist nowadays has a website. So
and you know what I was thinking this too, right? Like I don't know if the people are tired of getting the text messages. I don't know how many of them are sub to stuff, but I almost feel like, and I'm going to keep pushing this precedent out here, sub to the YouTube, sub to the Apple, sub to the iHeart, the Spotify, whatever you got to sub to, get it, because there's going to be a certain point where we're just not going to keep sending out the text, because one, I don't know, it feels a little like archaic for whatever reason. I think at this point, we're 20.
Can come across almost like, I ain't gonna say browbeating, but it can come across as solicitation, almost like it's like, I'm sick of these, messages, and it's like we want it to be where you go to where you want to go when you want to go. You know what I mean? Like not
and that's
we
why
just
these things have to
finished recording, and here's the podcast. It's like, okay, when I'm ready to listen to a podcast, I want to be able to pull up, like when I'm ready to listen to YouTube or a certain song, I don't want to pull it up and listen to it. I don't want to, go cycle through a link I might have got a couple weeks back or something like that. Yeah.
And out of the two of us, I'm the podcast guy, right? I mean, I've been banging the podcast for many years, and I'm an Apple guy, right? So everything I want to hear, like I'm sub to. So whenever a new episode drops, I get the notification, right? And I don't think I'm really breaking news here for the moral majority on the other end here that's listening. You know how that stuff works. So if you haven't subbed and you've just been relying on the text messages, get going, get subbing, because I'm saying I'm not trying to like put you into a corner, but also if you're listening to it, it makes more sense to be subbed so you get notified, so you don't have to do the text thing. I don't know. I just think it makes more sense at this point. We're not going to do it right now. I'm saying probably by the end of July, texts are going to be done. If you ain't subbed, then either you ain't paying attention or you don't care. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't mean to be like that guy, but we're 23, 24 episodes in.
People that I send out, the text messages to that, they even wanted to move quicker than I have, because we would record and, I would send out the link like a day or two later, and some of the avid listeners or some of the people that really like the content, they were already a day ahead. It was like, boom, as soon as we got done and posted it.
And that's good. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear. And that's because there is a little kind of birdie on my shoulder that's like, hey man, look, because y'all know how insanely obsessed I am with the numbers, because once again, you have no idea. This is my baby. Like, I love this thing. I'm obsessed with it. Probably to an unhealthy degree, but hey, whatever. Passion is passion.
Passion is passion.
So there is a bit of nerves behind this. If I stop sending out the messages and then you see the numbers dip, it's like, oh man. But it's also like, look, please understand, this isn't really for me to not send out the text messages. It's literally a text. Doesn't take that long. Bing, bang, boom. But I think it's about that time where, like, okay, boys and girls, Sub to it. If you ain't sub to it. Get notified. You know what I mean? Because it not only is it easier for you, it helps us too.
A little bit. It's like grow up and do the adult thing here.
Yeah. Stop fucking with my numbers. No, but I mean, I really would just like that to be a thing. Cause I don't want to bug. Because I really do feel like I'm bugging people because I have to like try to, I'm doing like specific times. Like I don't want to be too early, too late. Well, what are we gonna do on Sundays? I don't want to interrupt football. It's like, look, get notified. You see it. It's in your little saved thing. If you ever dabbled in the Apple stuff, you see how at least the new thing they've done. They'll show the last time the podcast was updated and how many new episodes are there.
That's just today's world. Like even when you go, I mean, like you go to any of the streaming sites, as far as Netflix or whenever a new show or something like that posts, first it airs on whatever major network it's on, and then it uploads to their streaming platform, and you'll get like either an email notification or you just simply check it. You're like, hey, did they upload the new episode? I know the real episode came on at Tuesday night, and usually it's within 24 hours. The streaming version is up on the site. The streaming version is up on the site. So I mean, we want to be as smooth as transition as that. Like that's
the best way to put it. Smooth.
Yeah. Yep. We'll record on a certain night. And within 24 hours, it should be on that website, and you view it whenever you want. If you want to binge listen, you can. You know what I mean? Like if you say, "Oh well, I'm a little busy this week," and I got some messages from people that I send a text, and they're like, "Oh man, I've been busy, but I'm gonna catch up on the podcast," and then they listen to 2 or 3 at a time, and they get their wholesome feel. And I've done that myself. I'm not a big, like I work throughout the day in weird hours, like 12:30 to 9, sometimes to 10.
Yeah,
I don't catch network. Yeah, I don't catch network shows when they actually come on. Like I'm just not here. I mean, so I have to rely on the platform or the website to catch me up.
Right. And, even... Hold on. There's like an echo here. Do you have me on? I don't know. Do you hear that echo or no? Okay, it's gone. I don't hear
anything. That might be yours. No, unless I was too close.
I'm assuming you got me on speaker, right? Because we're doing the remote thing. You have me on speaker, correct?
Yeah. I don't have the phone up to my ear.
That literally just might be my reverb. So all right, I just didn't know if that was gonna be coming through or not.
No interference.
When we listen to it, we'll figure it out. If it is, we'll figure something out. It's fine.
All right.
But yeah. So anyway, just with the whole housekeeping thing, gonna be building a website there and getting all the links on that, getting the logos. Or actually, I'm gonna have to get some logos commissioned, I should say, because I want to have like not one, but one logo for each pod, and not just kind of keep messing and putting the little silly little pictures up for each episode. I mean, I can still do that occasionally, but I feel like we do need to have a legitimate logo, like it be our trademark, I guess. So that's like a trademark.
I mean, those pictures are cool though because they always are relevant to what the episode is about.
Your boy knows what he's doing.
I know. I mean, that one college episode, I seen the big university in the background.
You like that?
Liked it.
Or that was one of my favorites. Actually,
you had a picture of a tiger sitting there, and
a little homage to you.
Yeah.
I was gonna put like what was my first pick for? I tried to get did I get a fly?
That's what I said for the latest episode.
That shit was creepy.
You had a fly off to the left, and it was like not on like the front, but it was like almost on the side of the logo. That was pretty cool.
I mean, that was completely accidental, so I'm not gonna lie to you.
Here I am giving you props, and
I'm not taking it. No, thank God for accidental cropping. So yeah, I just want to kind of get all that stuff out there because we are always working and moving and trying things, and that's the beautiful thing about this podcast, man. And from the jump, it has been fluid. and that's been the MO of the whole thing. So, and hey, look, not for nothing here, because I do have a YouTube studio kind of thing on my phone here, and it does show a lot of you folks are actually listening on YouTube, and that's the tits. I appreciate it because you're really, and look, you ain't gonna like this, Jermaine. Someone put you on the spot. You're really not you, but like the crowd and what they're doing, they're really pushing me towards doing video. I'm thinking, I mean, maybe not all the time. Maybe like once a month we do a video show. Kind of start there. I mean, if people dig it and you don't look, and you can get your dumpster fire of a life together.
If I can get my shiny ass head together on camera,
right,
be good. I mean, everybody wants to see it. I mean, everybody wants to put a face to the voice. I mean,
right.
Even at my job currently, I've got a lot of people that, because of COVID, that work from home that I've never even met. Like I only know them through Skypes or emails, and it's nice to have a face of who you're talking to. So just to get a glance of who's talking,
Yeah, and so I don't know if I think we can start doing that maybe once a month, and also like we mentioned before, we're still kind of all about doing some personalized stuff. I think we may start putting like some behind the scenes stuff up on the Patreon too. So give you guys some like behind the scenes access to kind of get an idea how we actually make this thing happen. You also may see some fun moments of my dog attacking the cats because, yeah, why not? Who doesn't like a puppy? So I don't know. It's just some thoughts I'm kind of been putting out there and thinking about maybe trying to pull the trigger on and see how that goes over. But if you remember from last week, though, we did put out in the ether, hey, look, instead of us picking the topic, you pick it. All right. And we had a few kind of submissions, and we're going to go with this fella, Jake from Twitter. All right. And he said, okay, you guys have been on like this word draft, or not word draft, but like these word topics here. What about patience? I was like, I don't hate it because that kind of goes a bunch of different ways. Just like honestly, most of our topics end up going multiple ways. But
I mean, here lately, the past few topics that we've covered, they are nouns and verbs, and they have multiple.
Hold on. Listen, DH agreed with me. He's like, motherfucker, look.
Yeah, he sent me a text. He sent me a text and said, noun, by the way, is not a, he said it's a verb, not a, no, he said
it was a noun.
Trust. Huh?
No, he was like, it is, no, what did he say now? Hold on.
No, he said trust is a verb, not a noun. And I was like, no, it's a noun. It's something you have in somebody. And then he was like, okay, yeah, I guess I see where you come from. It's like, because it's actually,
Wordsmith over here. You're like a politician.
No, I'm just saying there's you trust in somebody, which is the verb version. I mean, you are action, like you are creating action, which is trust. But it's also a thing as well, because it's something that's like, it's like, do you have this thing for this person? And it's like, what's this thing? Trust. So it's like, it's a noun, and you can actually do it. It has action to it as well. Same thing with patience. Seems like, do you have patience? Which obviously is a noun. Maybe it's not a verb. You can't patience somebody.
Motherfucker, this is not an English podcast, all right? God damn it, get off the...
It's not a verb now that I think about it. You can't patience somebody.
Term paper over here.
I'm saying you can have patience, or you can be patient, which is an adjective. Yeah. But you can't patience somebody. So I'm wrong there. But it's an adjective and a verb. So there's your English 101 class right there.
Yeah, it is. It is not great. This is why we're podcasting. We don't have big people jobs. No. So just real quick, once again, I want to thank Jake.
Thank you, Jake.
We may be doing this a little bit more. I think it was a cool idea. So, so you guys know it's actually a thing. Like, people do care. They do have ideas, and they want to hear what they think, what they want to talk about.
And we will dissect your idea, just like we are going to pick this word apart.
Yeah. So, I don't know. You usually start it off. I'm going to start it off because I don't like you. So, and also I realize it's 22 minutes in. We haven't done fuck all with the show yet.
I know. So, we've been all on the.
No, we had housekeeping stuff. It was fine. It was
all that bullshit. Yep.
So I'm not a patient guy at all. I'm not. I am very staunch in my kind of timing of things, right? And it's funny because Tiff showed me this whole thing about Tauruses, and one of our things is yeah. Because
like we're both in May, but you're at the front end of May, and you're a Taurus, and then I'm a Gemini. I'm at the back end of May. Okay.
Yeah, we're running the train on May. So
good one.
So I am just not a patient person. I'm very all about segmented time, and I'm very, this needs to happen at this point in time or there's an issue. All right. Now, here's the problem. My wife, she rolls on CPT all day.
Okay.
It is her, like, to the point where I feel like the bitch is in a different time zone sometimes. Right? So I almost have to plan around her not great timing of things. Doesn't really ever cause an issue because it's really not that real. But
no, but I mean, just your experience with her, you probably built in a buffer already.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You have already created a buffer that doesn't exist. If the event starts at 1, you're telling her it starts at 12. You have built in a buffer.
Yeah, that's called the CPT buffer. Absolutely. And if you don't know what CPT is, Google it.
Look it up.
Also, fun little thing I did Google today. Tiff came to me today and asked me what a bukkake is.
What a what?
A bukkake is.
I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry.
Well, you can go have fun and look that up too.
I don't even know how to spell it.
Bukkake.
AKE bukkake. Okay.
Yeah.
That's homework.
Okay. Yeah. That should be very entertaining. And you'll realize why that's ridiculous whenever you see it. But I'm just not a patient person. I'm not patient with the kids.
Now, because of your impatience, which of course this is the direct opposite of patience. I mean, do you feel like there's opportunities, or is there any bad examples in your personal life where your impatience has been a disadvantage to you? Or
yes, I yell at the kids all the fucking time.
No, no, I'm just saying, like, I mean, have you missed out on opportunities in life because of your impatience?
I mean, I probably blew my load a few times where I, could have just kind of, held back, but I can't think of really anything off the top of my head that I really kind of can look back and say, yeah, if I would have.
If you would have waited a little bit and waited for it to set up.
I mean, there's plenty of times where you're having a conversation with somebody and, you're kind of.
I mean, there's small things. I mean, like, not to call fantasy a small thing because it's very serious. I mean, but I'm pretty sure there was times where you probably put somebody in your lineup and then you should have just waited for 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and now your impatient ass is sitting there with a big fat 0 or 1 reception for 8 yards. And
I mean, you speak about patience here. How many times have you been patient and you got stonewalled by
being
somebody?
too patient? Yeah.
Huh. Wonder who did that all the time, over and over.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I mean, there's been conversations where I've assumed kind of what they're saying because I'm already having their part of their conversation in my head, and
he said I'm having their part of their conversation in my head.
Yeah, because I say my point, and then I'm saying their counterpoint or what I think their counterpoint's going to be at in my head, and half the time I'm hearing them, but I'm not really listening. I'm just kind of like,
because
this sounds similar.
You already, like, before, it was almost like the question was rhetorical because you asked the question and you already knew what you was going to respond, and they're not getting it out fast enough. You're like, man, spit the word, spit it.
Yeah, I mean, it's more like, look, I'm saying this just to say I said it because I have to, because it's like the token part of the conversation. But realistically, I'm like 3 conversations ahead of you. Get on my level. Yeah, no, I mean, there have been instances where I have assumed something and it ends up not really being the case because I'm being too impatient about the conversation, and then I go off on a bit of a tangent, and they're like, "Yeah, I wasn't even going to go that route, man." And you just kind of make a weird, uncomfortable thing. But like, I would say mostly though, my impatience comes with the kids. I don't know if it really falls under the impatient side of it per se, but I think it's kind of one of those, I expect them to do certain things and expect them to be certain ways. And I guess the impatience of them not kind of reaching that preconceived notion. You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's, I really would just say the biggest detriment for me is I just get pissed off real quick, and it's mostly due to impatience. I don't have a ton to say about it, so I want to get my little bit out of there, and then riff off of whatever you got on your side of it.
Okay. I'm going to start with the definition. I think we should have let in with that, but let me just give you the definition of supposedly patience. I'm going to start with the origin. The root word is patient. So you know what a patient is somebody sitting in the hospital. Is that the reason why they call them patients? Because they have enough bullshit to wait around for the doctor to serve them?
Go ask.
No, I'm just saying. Like, is that the root of the? Because the word patient, it just says
they're not spelled the same. So I'm going to go with a hard no.
Okay, but they're not spelled the same. But at the same time, patience says derived from patient. So it is. They are linked. They're correlated. But
it's two different. I mean, I see what you're saying. Like,
no, I mean, there's 2 different. I mean, patient has 2 different meanings. One says hospital, in hospital, under care for medical treatment, and then one is hold on, what does this say? Without complaint or irritation or loss of temper, ability to suppress annoyance when continued with delay. Capacity for endurance. So these definitions tell me that it's one of those things where you are willing to go through bullshit. I mean, like, it's, something should be going a little bit faster than what it is, but it's not. And the more you wait and allow it to happen, I guess you're considered a more patient person. So my thing is, you just said impatience, which is, that's why I asked you, is there any instance where you being impatient caused a impactful negative experience for you in life if you would have just been a little bit more patient. But when is patience just the right amount? Like when the circumstance turns out totally right. Like I guess it's almost like a hindsight 2020 thing where
are you asking or is this rhetorical?
Kind of both. I mean, it's like I guess you can't really gauge in patience what patience or bad patience or just enough patience until the scenario is over. Like,
yeah,
you can't really judge patience in the moment, so to speak. Like,
unless you completely fuck it up. But yeah, generally, yeah, it's going to be a retrospect kind of
when
like
you look back and be like, okay, like suppose you're gambling. Or you know, I mean, like suppose you're at the casino or you're playing craps or you're playing blackjack or something like that, and by you jumping the gun and being too impatient, you'll lose a big wad of money. But if you would have just waited around on that one card to come, which you see happens after you blew your patience, you would have made a fortune. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like you can't do it in the moment. You do have to wait till afterwards. Then, I mean, just the patient, just this subject just made me think the good, bad, and the ugly. It's like, when is it good to have patience? When is it bad to be not patient enough? And then, is there such thing as being too patient? And there is. And to me, and how it applies to me is being too patient breeds itself to a different word. And being too patient to me can breed to tolerance. And in my previous relationship,
I know exactly where this shit's going.
Okay. I mean, just in my previous relationship that, you know, we're now separated, I think we had patience was a bad thing because she became too patient and I became too patient and we became tolerant.
You became complacent. That's what you became.
Yeah. Tolerant. I mean, complacency pretty much got used to it. You know, change was more scarier, or change itself was more detrimental than just dealing with the bullshit that was going on. You know, so too much patience.
Yeah, it's the whole tired old trope of the devil you know is, you know, usually better than the devil you don't.
Good point.
You know, because you could have just jumped in bed. I mean, literally and figuratively, you could have jumped in bed with somebody else, and they could have been a bigger dumpster fire than what you had going on there. No offense, but you know, call it as it is. Because she hurt my friend, so she's a dumpster fire. So, yeah, I mean, I was gonna say like what because you're like, well, what instance can this, you know, all three of those things apply? And absolutely. You know, I'm not saying the only thing, but I probably the most important thing to most people is their relationships, whether that be friendships, you know, family stuff, or, you know, intimate things, right?
Yeah. I mean, and just relationships, period. Like let's go to the job you hate. Are you being too patient? I mean, like, have you gotten to a point where that patience has turned into tolerance? You could tolerate so much, and it breeds into complacency. Like, okay,
yeah. And then complacency.
Like, so I mean, like, almost all of these examples are almost everything we do. You know, I mean, so far because it's in the moment of me and my separation. But eventually we're gonna. This is not gonna be a subject that we talk about, but in the moment,
cathartic.
You know what I'm saying? Fine. I'm gonna reference a lot of times, somehow get back to a relationship I've been in for over 25 years. It's kind of hard to just wipe off 25 years.
You know, with that, and now that you actually are out of it, you can actually have that retrospect word of the day, apparently, where you can look back and apply these things that you're thinking of, and you're thinking clearly.
Well, I could step out of the subjective and kind of look from the objective, where I can step back, and look outside of the situation instead of being wrapped wholeheartedly in it. You know,
and that is called healing, sir. That is called healing.
And for you, it's like your, battle is the job. It's like, okay, we both got two scars or two, pain points that,
I've been tired of this place for a long time. I'm just too. I make up excuses. Realistically, I make up excuses on why I'm not pulling the trigger on doing something different. I mean, there is that fear of, you want to start at the bottom of somewhere else, but it's like, really, you're not going to start at the bottom of somewhere else. You have too many fucking skills and too much of a skill set, and your resume does not dictate that you should start at the bottom. And really, since you already have a job, you can kind of interview them, then the other way around. So you get to be picky.
I like when you said that. Like, I'm interviewing them.
Right. Like, I don't have to choose. I don't have to pick you. Like, it's one of those things where if you want me, cool. I don't need you. I would like to go there, but I don't need you. So, but look, the whole, you think about, let's just kind of do not really a hypothetical thing, but you think of, times where you're too patient in a relationship, right? You are, let's say there's a friendship.
Okay.
And one of you, usually the guy. Well, no, I can't even say that. It's not even fair. And you want that friendship to blossom into something else, but the other person is not receptive of that, or they're very slow. And you can take that. That's where a lot of the subjective things come into play, where like, all right, how much do I really want this? Do I want this for the right reasons? Okay, I'm willing to be patient. Well, sometimes if you're too patient, that breeds into something that is unhealthy. And then you start to resent things like that, right? Mm-hmm. I think, you could be on the other side of that too, where you're not ready to do it, right? And the other person is ready. And you're like, well, I just want to be careful. Then you miss out on the opportunity. You missed out on the opportunity with that person that could have been great, maybe, who knows? But because you were too patient or scared, or you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can.
The patience itself is in the eye of the beholder. It's who is subjective too, because one person's idea of too much patience, just enough patience, or not enough patience is totally different from somebody else.
Here. Right.
Huh?
It's like Goldilocks.
Yeah. With the porch? What's it called? Porridge?
No. What? Yeah. Like too hot, just right. Too hot, or too cold, whatever the fuck it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot what the hell. I ain't heard that nursery rhyme so long. That's why I was just like, what was it ain't oatmeal. We knew it was something similar to grits or some
1940
shit.
Quaker
Porridge. What the fuck is porridge? I ain't never heard nobody outside of that nursery rhyme. I ain't never heard nobody say, "Hey man, can you fix me some porridge?" Or I just had some porridge.
Right, like that's some soup kitchen shit. But yeah, on the other side of the spectrum, because I'm not going to cover, well, it's just right. Well, no shit, we're not going to cover that. What are you going to say about that? It's like, yeah, you both had the perfect amount of patience. Great. That's boring. We're not going to cover that. Mm-hmm. But, in same situation, you could be real pushy in that relationship. You're impatient, and you then could scare that person away. Mm-hmm. And that could be anything, that's mostly going to be like an intimate relationship. Obviously, but I think about just stupid stuff like this. You're driving and you merge and you're not paying attention, or you're like, I need to get over. And you just do it, and you do it with reckless abandon, and you cause a big ass pileup.
Yes.
Let's do the other side of it.
Or you're late for work. You're late for work. You're rushing.
Right.
You blow through a light that you would normally stop at that yellow light,
Right.
but your impatience caused you to run it, and now you're sitting off to the side of the road with a fucking cop behind you with their lights going. So
and there's the other side of it too, where you're too patient. Well, anyone that lives in Pittsburgh knows how this works. You need to merge. You need to get to your exit way before you think you do, because it will creep up on you real quick, like just like a wet fart. You know what I mean? So it will creep up on you and fuck up your day. Because
you know not to bring up no farts or no shit. Because I definitely have an example.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. It's fucking, it's weird and it's cringy. We're not doing it.
But there's 3 different levels there. If you got to go to the bathroom, you
stop it. No, seriously, nobody wants to hear about that. Like dead serious. It's gross.
You should have brought that shit up.
Literally. But yeah, I mean, you think about you missed your exit because you waited too long to get to merge over, and now you know people aren't going to let you over. It is what it is because they're too busy either being patient enough because they literally and figuratively are staying in their lane, or they're being impatient because they're trying to get where they need to go because driving in Pittsburgh is stupid. So,
and then like you said, you missed your exit. Now you got to go to the next exit, and now you got to circle back around to get to exactly where you were, and wherever you were impatiently either trying to get to, or you were too patient getting to. Now you're going to be late.
Become impatient. Now you're becoming impatient because you are trying to make up. I would say, I honestly, fuck the relationship. I think driving is probably the best example of that, to be honest with you.
I mean, I didn't even driving wasn't even in my initial thought, but that is a great way to catch the whole spectrum, the whole scale. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, especially if you live in a metropolis like this, like if you're just in country bumpkins, it's like, it's fine. You're not really going anywhere anyway.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's really...
it covers so many different times. Like I said, with the job, it could be the job, it could be a friendship, it can be an intimate relationship. We even said it could be trying, it could be food. If you're too impatient with your food, what you're eating, some type of food.
Look, all right, got the perfect one.
Okay.
You're impatient, Hot Pocket. That is molten fucking lava.
Yeah.
If you don't, first of all, if you don't check that before you put any of that near your face hole, you are either going to bite into something frozen or something that's going to kill your mouth.
Yes. So you gotta hit it with the right amount of time. Like I've done this with microwave popcorn, where the popcorn button sometimes on the microwave is either too strong or not strong enough. So I had to, from trial and error experience, either I cook it 15 seconds too much and the shit has half burnt, and burnt popcorn is fucking horrible.
Listen, there's not many things in this world that piss me off more than burnt popcorn, because not only does it taste terrible, motherfucker smells for 3 days.
Yes. And then if you undercook it, all you got is motherfucking
kernels.
four. Yeah, all you got is kernels at the bottom with 4 puffs.
Here's what I never understood. I never understood this, right? So there's certain microwaves that have a popcorn button, and if you press it once, then it's this little code comes up, and you press it again, it's a different code, and another one. And it's what do these codes mean? We have a microwave now where it's one popcorn button, and that's all you have, and it does it, and it's perfect. And I'm like, why are these other
what are you popping 3 bags? I don't get why it has more.
How big are these bags? I know they have these little mini bags. I mean, I get that, but it's who the fuck buys a mini bag of popcorn? Be an adult.
It's probably for kids, for their little kids or something, little baby bag. You just made me think of that sweater you got for Christmas.
Yeah.
That shit was awesome. Fuck them kids.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't think we should. I mean, unless you have another example that like deviates away from kind of anything we talked about, I don't want to like beat the dead horse and just keep doing examples unless you got something that really is like a difference maker there.
I mean, what was the guy's name again? I'm sorry.
Jake
Thanks,
from State
Jake.
Farm.
You know, Jake from State Farm. Jake the Snake. Say no. Thanks, Jake, for your topic. I mean, like, we dissected it, and, you know, I don't really have, I mean, I just wanted to, you know, kind of get the word out there, but,
right.
You know, and then take a look at the root word of it. But, I mean, is that why they call them patients in hospitals, though? I'm going to keep going back to that. Because
I don't know, man. But actually,
you got to have patience to go to the emergency room and deal with the hospital. I mean, there's been times I went into the hospital and you know, I've gotten seen relatively quickly after the triage and the whole filling out the stuff, and then they see you back there. But majority of the time, man, it is long. Same with the DMV. The same thing with the DMV. Listen, you got to have a certain, before you even walk into a DMV, you have to have a certain level of, you got to be ready to deal with that shit.
Your mind has to be right. You need to be
otherwise, you're going to go in there and you're going to sit down and then you're going to get pissed off and then you're going to go to your car and you're going to come back and start shooting.
Like, motherfuckers, I swear to fucking God, if you fucking, that's when you just start losing your shit. And people are just like, I just said hi to you, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, you just, no.
And then when you take the car, think about traffic. Like if you live in a city like New York or LA, like, holy hell. See, we live in Pittsburgh.
Here's the thing. If that's the thing, you need to know that. If you do not know that, then you're a fucking idiot. And you need to treat traffic as I treat my wife with CPT. You need to take into account, you cannot leave for work a half hour before you need to be there if you live in LA. You're a fucking idiot if you think that's going to work. Yeah. So that seems like that's more of a, maybe you should be more of an adult, make better decisions. And I never understood people that freak out in traffic. It's like, this is why, if you need to be somewhere in a half hour and your destination says it'll take you 25 minutes to get there and you get into and you're doing it right at that point in time, you're bound to, first of all, you're bound to be pissed off because that's what the idea of everything is going to go smoothly. No detours, no hiccups, no nothing. You know how that happens? It fucking doesn't.
Exactly.
So, I mean, shit. Has there ever been a time where we've rolled this podcast out at the exact same time ever? No. And it's not because we're not planning on doing it at a certain time. It's just because it just happens when it happens. But if we were on if we had to, like, let's say we had a live show, right? Yeah. You know, and we're like, hey, this is going to go live at 11.
And they're like, man, we're in 5, 4, 3, the whole, you know, like we're going on the air right now and they're counting us down. Yeah.
So I feel like, I don't know. I never understood the people that freak out at traffic. It just seems a little like, there's so much. Now, with that being said, I will absolutely call somebody many a names if they do some dumb shit on the road. But that's not in traffic. It's just like, hey, like, what do you like?
Well, I mean, sometimes, you can't. I mean, I understand you saying you're an idiot if you don't plan for traffic, but sometimes, put it this way, 9 times out of 10, if you go a certain road and it's smooth, and then this one time it's not, you have a right to snap out. I mean,
fair enough.
You've been used to, this is the nice shortcut. I've never ran into traffic, and then all of a sudden it's there. Like me with traffic, I'm one of those people that I'm patient up to a certain point. Like, if the traffic is moving slightly, I'm a little bit more patient with it. But when it's at a deadlock stop, I'll sit there for maybe 5 minutes and be like, all right, it's cool. It's going to move. And then after 5 minutes, there's a little rage man in my brain that just snaps. And it's like, motherfucker, move! And I'm just like, I just lose it. I just lose my shit right there in the car.
No,
and then I come back to the calmness and be like,
no,
what was that for?
that's generally what I do when I see people do dumb shit on the road. I don't have that calmness. I have moments, and I said it last week. I legitimately called an old man a cocksucker, and I don't regret it. Stop fucking driving, you old prick. What are you doing?
I mean, road rage itself is built off of impatience, and there's people that are dead today and wish they can go back and be a little bit more patient because
I saw a video of something, and I don't even know what it was from, but it was literally like this couple, like something happened, some road rage thing. Like they literally got out of their car and started shooting at the car with a baby in the back.
I mean, like how much has that rage consumed you to that point? Like you are shooting
it's a
at
rage
this
thing.
person.
I think it's a you see red type of thing. Like you at that point, you absolutely lose all cognizant, cognitive kind of, grasps on reality. You're just like, I see red, bitches are gonna bleed. Let's go. And
thanks, Jake. This is where you led us, man. Now we talking about road rage, seeing red. Now you just lose your shit over patience. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's wild. It's and another thing, English language. This is for you. Can we stop having the same fucking words for like 4 different words and 4 different meanings for the same fucking word? Like there, and there, and there. Why can we just stop? Like there's different ways to say different things. Like why can't we just, like, there doesn't need to be patient and then patient. They're 2 different things. Why can't one be patient or something? Some bullshit. I don't fucking know. It's I don't know. I feel like there's enough room to maneuver around the English language to stop making like duplicate words because shit's bullshit. Makes me angry.
I mean,
anyway.
Our last episode we talked about cussing, and there's multiple ways to use one cuss word. I mean, it can mean all different. I mean, how many
First
different?
First of all, we're not going into grammar, police again. So just, if you're going to do that, check yourself at the door. We're not
like,
doing
how
that.
many different ways can you say fuck or shit? Like it can mean this, that.
Yeah. Well,
Great.
I mean, I think it's one of the fun. I think that's kind of the strange thing is people we've enabled cussing to be like every possible like part of the English kind of language, like everything's adjective nouns. You can use somehow we'll figure it out. Every single word will fall into one of those little sections of the grammar English, whatever those things are.
Yeah.
It's
verb.
But like other words don't work like that. And really, I mean, if you kind of look at it from like an intelligence standpoint, yeah, generally speaking, most times how we're using curse words don't really flow. They shouldn't flow, but we're like, I'm so angry, you fucking fuck. Like, yeah. And somehow everyone gets it, and you're like, yeah, you told him.
Everybody understand what you mean. Like, that's crazy.
We're dumb, man. People are just dumb. Like, I don't know if I believe in aliens or not. I don't really give a shit either way. But like, if they were able to like monitor us, or like these fucking idiots, like they kill each other, they make up words, they barely can read. What the fuck? We're not gonna invade and take over. What's there gonna take? What is there to take over? Fucking idiots are killing everything around you. It's fine. We'll just come in. We'll come in when everyone dies, and just It's like almost going to cash for gold, right? Like they're not gonna sell your stuff. They're just melting it down for more gold. Yeah. What they're gonna do to us? Aliens are gonna come like, we're just gonna burn this bitch down for resources, for gas. We're gonna use Earth as gas for our spaceship. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake, this is what you fucking did, bub. So, look, fuck it. Let's roll the dice. Let's do it again. Let's put it out in the ether again. I dig it. because here's the cool thing. Worst case scenario, no one bites on anything. No one has any other, any ideas or anything. You just come up with something. It's fine. I updated Twitter with the whole, hey, we got a few more days left, yada yada yada, and that's how we got someone to bite.
I'm digging the whole idea of participation. Period.
Well, because it makes it more of a community show, and it's at a certain point. I mean, I don't think we're going to run out of ideas, but we're not going to be opposed to not have to think of something.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather have too many topics to talk about than none.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'd rather take a choice.
Yeah, and then the cool thing about that is we can always put something on the back burner for next week. It's like, hey, look, we really like this one. We have something to talk about, but there's this other one that we want to kind of talk about this week, so we can put that other one. Have a little teaser thing for the next week, and yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
But so let's do it again. Let's do that again. You all know all the links,
socials, and the links. Yeah, we took the first 20 minutes doing all of that.
But I'm definitely going to work on that tomorrow to kind of build something up. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be up right away, but so just still kind of roll with the old school MO, thing we were doing with the, look in the description and everything. But sub to the stuff, do it.
Yep.
So that's what we'll do. So no topic for next week until you give me a topic.
Until you guys give it to us. We're recording Saturday. We're X's and O's. What were we on? Episode 12 there now?
Fuck, I don't know. I can't look. I think it's 12 or...
Well, 12, but 12, you done added the interviews and the point fives and all of that. But 12 official shows.
It's like 19 or some shit. I don't fucking know. It's fine. What's our draft? Do we know what our draft is going to be there? Or are we still going to decide that? We'll talk off air. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I don't know if we had something right away, because I know you mentioned something.
Yeah, I got some ideas, but I don't know. I mean, you want to throw that teaser out there? It's up to you.
Nah, fuck them. Have you bitches tune in and get what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like to really tease the other show too much on the other show.
Yeah, I mean, I like to keep it just boom right on the spot, and then the draft just hits.
Right,
so
we can cross stream sometimes, but
I think it's back and forth. It's like the X's and O's is so much shotgun and popcorn talk that we can't really give you any type of heads up on that. But on the BDE, because we do focus in on one topic, we can give you that heads up.
Except when we don't, we make you choose it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
And then it's more spontaneous. So
it is. So it ends up being the shotgun, except not really a shotgun. I don't. I'm so confused. But yeah, man, I do like that. I mean, it's not going to be every time. I just figured, hey, let's roll with the hot hand, and Jake from State Farm had a good idea, and I kind of wish we could have expanded a little bit more on it, but it was one of those. That's kind of what happens when it's a spontaneous thing. It's not really coming from you per se. You can kind of shoot from the hip a little bit, but it also was one of those. It seems like it's kind of across the board. It covers the same general things apply to most situations when it comes to the patients, and it's just little caveats of, well, instead of fucking you, I'm driving around. There we go. There's the caveat. But, all right, so we're running a little over here. So, what do you got to say here? What do you have these people do here?
All I got to say is, my name is Jermaine.
Yay. Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, I should tell you my name. My name is Rich.
Yeah, I'm about to say, your name is Yay.
Look, I got distracted by the cat because he's doing some bullshit. I don't know what it is, but I'm very curious. But I'm not concerned. I'm just more like, how's this gonna fail? And listen, and look, this is like a super shameless plug here, by the way, but it's not even supposed to be a shameless plug. It just kind of happened. I don't know. I talked to a few people and I had a few ideas because I even put it on Twitter as a question. I'm like, what do people look for on the Patreon? And basically, people said bonus content and behind the scenes stuff. Like,
I
yeah,
did see that.
yeah, and I'm like, that's actually a good thing. So I really I don't know if you guys would be interested in behind the scenes stuff. But we got no we got no worries about rolling that out there. I mean, it's definitely going to be a lot more raw than this. I mean, which is pretty raw anyway. But I don't know. There's a bunch of different stuff that we can do. It's really honestly, it comes down to. I hate to say this, because we don't want to oversaturate the regular market, but we do have a lot of things we can do. What if we're going to do that, and we want it to be on a separate kind of platform, a separate place, and if we're going to record it, do stuff like that, and do special other things, throw some change. It's fine, but throw some change. Tired of ramen, goddammit. Feed me. Want a McDouble? No, I don't. But yeah, so my name is Rich. That was Jermaine. This was some kind of street or some shit. I don't fucking know. No, but
thanks, yeah, Jake, one more time.
Hey, and once again, I appreciate everyone that's listening on YouTube too. And you know, that is really a real cool thing. Like, all serious, all joking aside, I really do appreciate people that have been sticking around from the get go. It actually does mean. It means the world to us. I'm not getting sentimental. It's just, it's just really cool to see this thing growing and maintaining and sustaining. And so everyone that's been listening or just started listening, we really do appreciate it. And that's not just the thing to say to people. No, we really do.
Yep.
But with all that being said, all of you go fuck yourself.
I knew you was going with a quip at the end.
Come on. It's that guy where it's like you can't be emotionally vulnerable, and then not punch him in the shoulder.
Yeah, like we're talking about that God talk where you can't say I love you without grabbing his head and giving him a noogie at the same time.
It's like, I love you, you little fucking queer. It's like, what are you doing? Jesus Christ. All right, kids. Good night.
Good night.